Hi, I'm Ron Fain, and I'm with 100 Men Who Care, and we're a group of men who get together quarterly to make a meaningful contribution to local charities. Today, I'm thrilled to have the opportunity to speak with Candace Lee and Laura Dreibelbis of the Susan J. Rheem Adult Day Center. The Susan J. Rheem Adult Day Center provides care for adults and their families who are experiencing some type of disease, dementia, illness, a disability, or Alzheimer's disease. Laura, Candace, thank you for being here. It's so wonderful. I appreciate you stepping up and taking the opportunity to share your organization with 100 Men Who Care. So tell us a little bit about your organization and your purpose.
Okay, so we are Adult Care Services, and the Susan J. Rheem Center is a part of Adult Care Services. We're a local nonprofit, and we've been serving the community for over 40 years. The Susan J. Rheem Center is a local adult day center that serves persons 18 years of age and older, but we do specialize in Alzheimer's and dementia. We are a medical social model, and what that means is we have a nurse on duty at all times. And then the socialization aspect is all about our activity program, where we do group activities as well as independent activities all day long.
Wow, fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've had a father-in-law who recently passed away who had dementia and Alzheimer's. Mm-hmm. And really for the caretakers, what a relief it is to have a place to go for their loved one to be, because I think there's two people that need to be taken care of in this is when you go home, it's the caretaker who's trying to work in this very complex situation. And of course, the loved one who is, when you leave them behind, are they getting the needs and services
exactly
that they need?
Yeah. Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about your mission.
So, Ron, thank you so much for having us and giving this opportunity to talk a little bit about our organization. Our mission is quality care, quality service, and quality life. And we strive to provide quality care and quality service to our families and to our participants. And the way we do that is through a person-centered care person-centered care approach. And so we look at everyone we serve, our families, our participants as individuals, and each one has unique needs, and there's no one template that everyone fits into.
Oh, wonderful. That's great.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
No, we aim to enrich the lives of our participants in hopes that the end result will be quality of life.
Yeah. And isn't that what it's all about? Us taking care of each other and making sure we're living the best lives that we can.
Yes. And what we find is once a person enters our program, their caregiver, whoever that might be, son, daughter, husband, wife, whatever the situation is, that relationship gets stronger because they have that time apart. When the participant comes to our program, that caregiver gets to take care of themselves, which is huge. And then their relationship grows because they get a little time apart and then they get to see each other again at the end of the day. So it's just fantastic.
Wow. I think that does two things. What I'm hearing is, one is it improves quality of life and also extends longevity of life. If you're living a good life and everybody is helping each other out, you're going to be healthier all the way around.
Absolutely.
What a great service.
Right. It gives the family caregiver the opportunity to be a spouse, to be a daughter, to be a son, not just a family caregiver.
Yeah, because those roles can get blended,
Yes.
right? I mean, sometimes you have to be in caregiving mode, but you love your father or you love your mother or your sister, whoever it is, and you need that opportunity to have that old relationship back.
Right. And another great thing is the health of the participants gets better because we have a nurse on duty at all time, and then we serve 2 nutritious meals and a snack each day, and we monitor that intake. So what we see is they're healthier, they're gaining a little weight, they're eating better, they're exercising because we do group activities of exercise, and then as well as that cognitive functioning with all of the activities that we do all day. It's just exhilarating for them.
I imagine the amount of patience that the professionals have to work with your participants has got to be just tremendous because everybody's dealing with something a little bit different, but you've got to give them dignity, humanity, love, and respect. I mean, tell us a little bit about, I mean, that's got to be hard and draining. I know it is on a caregiver, but for you that are doing it day in and day out for so many people and for so many families.
Right. And we have a great team. Our team has like the most patience and love, and we also have fun. Since we do deal with Alzheimer's and dementia, sometimes we get the same questions over and over and over throughout the day. Yeah. And we just come back with, the same or different answer, and we stay patient and calm. And Laura has been with our agency for 16 years?
17 years this year.
She's actually
approaching 17 years.
Yeah, one of the sweetest nurses I've ever met. So maybe you want to add a little about that.
So I think what's really important, what we try to really focus on is empathy. Empathy for that participant and empathy for the family and understanding what they're going through and trying to take a little of that burden off of them to help them to enjoy life a little bit more than they would if they weren't coming to the day center. And so we just went through a series of training with our staff that really focused in on empathy. And I think that's the part that's really important. And that's where we see a lot of love come from our caregivers to our participants and to our family members.
Wow. Laura, over your 17 years, I'm sure you've had a couple of stories of some individuals that have come through that have just really made a huge mark. And because of what you both do and what the Susan J. Rheem Center does for community, it's probably left just a positive, loving mark on someone's life. Can you share a story of something of how your efforts made a difference in someone else's life?
Absolutely. And the one thing that comes to mind and really is so heartfelt for me is that so many times, and I can think of, many families, participants that have come to me, but we see this often where a family caregiver comes to us and they are overwhelmed. They are approaching mental breakdown.
Yep, they would be.
They do not know what to do. They don't know what resources are available in the community. And I can sit down with them and have sat down with many. And first of all, I'm giving them emotional support right away. And then we talk about the different programs that are available, and I screen for different resources that might be able to help them. Because what we find most of the time is that people cannot afford assisted living. And so we screen for programs that might be able to help them. And the particular story I'm thinking of is not long ago, we were able to get funding for a family so that their loved one could come to the day center 2 days a week, door-to-door transportation. They come into our program, they're enjoying meals, they're enjoying nursing oversight, socialization, activities, all the while that family caregiver is getting to take advantage of some well-deserved respite. And we're not talking about respite to go get their nails done or go get their hair done. It might just be taking a shower and not having to worry about their loved one is falling or turning on the stove or something of that sort. Now, we do have families that do get to go and enjoy getting their hair done, getting their nails done, going kayaking and those kinds of things. But oftentimes in the beginning, it's just simply some rest and relaxation.
And stay home alone. I hear that all the time as the care manager when I meet with families, that the family member is able to have their house to themselves for hours during the day. I can give a quick story, a personal story. My mother had a massive stroke 2 years ago, and she had the stroke in my house, and it changed her life. It affected her speech. She had apraxia and aphasia, and she got really depressed. And at the time, I was community liaison for adult care services. I wasn't the care manager yet. And we got my mom into the Susan J. Rheem Center, and she thrived. She made friends, and she called it going to work. She said, it's time to go to work. We hear that a lot.
What a great report back.
And she went to work, and she would interact with other people, and not everybody's on the same level. So cognitively, my mother was fine, but she couldn't talk very well. And it also gave her that chance to do physical activities. We, shoot a ball. Yesterday we were playing a game where you pop a balloon and win a prize and things like that. So they get that physical activity. And she wasn't just sitting at home watching TV. It was so great for her self-esteem.
Wow. You know what I'm hearing in all of this? You're taking care of two different groups of people.
Yeah.
One, those that are in need, who need your services during the day, and then all the family members who, because it's a 24/7,
it is
24 hours a day, 7 days a week job for a loved one, that just sitting at home in a peaceful house is such relaxation. It just reminds me of what my mother-in-law had to go through to take care of her husband, because it is a 24-hour job.
It really is.
And you never know what to expect.
Right. We never know, like in the situation of the story that I gave you with the family that we were able to help, we don't know what the outcome would have been if they weren't able to get respite. But caregiver burnout, and you probably know this just from your own family experience, is very serious. And for some, it can become very, very serious. It can, cause depression, serious mental breakdown. And there are even unfortunate stories of suicide that have happened from caregivers and their anguish and mental breakdown from having to just commit their entire life to caring for a loved one when they don't know what resources are available out there.
Wow. I'm just so impressed with the commitment that you bring to community through your efforts, through Susan J. Rheem Center, and the difference that you make in so many lives of all people in our community. What can share with the community? How can someone else get involved? How can we volunteer? How can we support the Susan J. Rheem Center? We're 100 men. You're going to show up at one of our events, but there might be somebody in that audience that has a unique talent or service that would be a blessing to him and to your organization.
Well, we are so grateful for our volunteers. And we are always looking for people to come and volunteer for our organization. Sometimes that might look like volunteering at the day center and helping to facilitate activities. It might be sitting down helping to assist somebody that might need a little help eating. It might be working in our front office, or it might be if you are talented and you can play piano or you can sing or you're in a band, that you might be able to come and entertain for our participants. They really, really enjoy that. We have outside entertainment that comes in 2 to 3 times a month, and most of that is from volunteers.
Oh, that's great.
And they can reach us at adultcareservices.org, or they could give us a call at 928-771-2335. Yeah.
Great.
That's wonderful. As 100 men who care, we're just a group of men. We're not a 501c3. We're not a nonprofit. We don't take care of anybody, but what we want to serve is groups and organizations like yourself who show up every day in and day out, that stand in the gap of the wall and make a difference for people in all of our communities. And that's what our mission is. So tell us, if you were to receive a financial gift from 100 Men Who Care, what kind of difference would that make for your organization?
A huge difference.
Huge. So the challenge that we're faced with, that is a real tough one, is when we do have families that come in and they're needing services and they just don't have the resources to pay for services. And so, I think organizations like 100 Men Who Care, who look to try and support organizations so that we can reach more people and reach these people who need help and make a difference in their lives. And so should you choose to support our organization, the money would be used for helping families that would not otherwise be able to afford services.
We will set up a scholarship fund for families, and they will be able to pay for, with the scholarship funding, days at our program as well as transportation. And that is going to be huge when we are able to say, yes, you qualify for this scholarship funding. your loved one. We're going to pick you up. We have 6 buses that transport all the way from Cordis Junction, Paulden, Prescott, and everything in between. We're going to pick your loved one up at your front door in the morning, and then we're going to bring them back home at the end of the day. And we would love to be able to tell families that this scholarship funding came from 100 Men Who Care.
Wow, that's so wonderful. And, medical expenses and healthcare has gotten so expensive for everybody. So I really do appreciate every effort that you're trying to make it easier for those who really need the service. And actually, door-to-door transportation is actually pretty tremendous when you're dealing with adults who have some need for additional support and help in the community for the caregiver. How nice is that to have someone picked up and brought home at the end of the day?
Exactly.
Thank you for all that you do for our communities. Any closing messages or thoughts that you want to share?
Well, I'd just like to say thank you to 100 Men Who Care and for all of your members for doing what you do.
Yeah. And I'm excited to receive this donation from 100 Men Who Care, and we are going to put it to good use. Another thing that we're going to be able to do is once a person starts with our program, they automatically get my services as a care manager. So I meet with family members and help them to just have somebody to talk to or to help them find other community resources that help them while they're in our program, free of charge.
And the end result really is, or one of the end results is that families, people get to age in place in their own home for a longer period of time.
Yes, and how important is that?
Right.
I think that's extremely important to longevity and quality of life.
Yeah.
And for our community to know that there's an organization out there that can help them to fulfill that dream of being able to age in place in their own home and, not go to assisted living or just delay that for a long, sometimes people have to move into assisted living because of the lack of care in the home.
Or it's just too much.
It's too much.
Yeah.
Or, and then the other side of that is some people just can't afford assisted living.
Yeah, well, we look forward to
a great option of care.
It is a great option. We look forward to having you out at our event February the 22nd and hearing from you. And for all the men out there, this is our opportunity to step up and make a difference and support you who make a difference in everybody's lives day in and day out. Thank you again for being here today.
Thank you, Ron. And thank you to 100 Men Who Care.
For more information about 100 Men, go to our website, 100menwhocareyc.com. We look forward to seeing you at the next event.